Book of Life. The Chinese medicine health arts practice of long life and self-healing. Sun Sheng, September 2015. Introduction. The Book of Life is about long life and healthy life. Long life is always a topic in China for several thousand years, no matter for ordinary people or powerful rulers. To wish people long life is a very good tradition. Long live the king. Long live the emperor. In thousands of years, many dynasties' emperors have been funding the doctors, apothecaries, philosophers or monks to find the way to let them live forever. It is this type of tradition established the Chinese medicine. The first and fundamental Chinese medicine book, the Bible of Huangdi Emperor, had made this point clear. This 2,500-year-old medicine book was written as the conversation of the powerful emperor and his premier Qibua, instead of some famous doctor's discussion. In the opening of this book, the emperor asked, "How can we live hundreds of years and still healthy enough to keep reproductive capability?" Not only he wanted long life but must also be very healthy and capable. There were no religions in ancient China, only philosophy. The difference between philosophy and religion is all about life and death. Philosophy mostly is interested in life and nature, while religions always claim that they know what happens after death. Philosophy focuses on life while religion focuses on death. In Chinese traditional culture, no one wanted to talk about after-death issues, not Taoists, not Confucians, and not the Chinese medicine. We do not care and do not want to know those illusory scenarios. We only care about our real life, how to live longer and live healthier. Therefore, my Book of Life is based on this philosophy. This is basically the vision of Chinese mediation. What is Chinese medicine? People would always refer to herbs. This is partially true and inadequate. From the original Chinese medicine theory, it is said the self-healing power is the key to avoid and cure diseases. It was said that the best doctors were to keep healthy people healthy, and the ones who can only use drugs to help people when they are sick were considered to be second level. It is known that animals and human beings have a very strong and mysterious self-healing system, or vis medicatrix naturae, e.g. the healing power of nature in the Western terminology. Because the power is the human nature and it is within the human body, it is also called inner power or innate power. The primitive Chinese medicine was the self-healing practice to help you gaining back your innate protection power. This type of practice was originated by the Taoists and adopted by Chinese medicine in the history. The earlier traditional Chinese medicine theory articles and books were written by Taoists, and the early practitioners are actually Taoists. In the early days, the philosophy of Chinese medicine was not set out to fix other people's diseases. It was a self-healing philosophy with a goal of long life. The ancient doctors for sick people were actually the village elders who have the knowledge of some grass and root to release children's fever or diarrhea. They are the so-called herbs picked taste herbal apothecary in primitive pre-civil time. The systematic medicine use of herbs was developed much later, and it is also by experiences instead of from the theory. The first herbal medical book, 100 Herbs, was said being written by the ancient agriculture god after he had tasted hundreds of herbs by himself. The great contribution of Chinese medicine is not just this grass tasting, it is the combination usage of various herbs prescription. Single herbal drug was found in the world in different ancient countries. 100 types of herbs are not a big number to compare with millions of plants, but over 1 million records of the combination prescriptions saved from all different diseases experiences in the past 2,000 years is a sole distinguish of the traditional Chinese medicine. Herbs, with some exceptions, mostly by themselves do not kill virus and bacteria directly, do not kill the cancer cells nor fix heart problem. The use of herbs is said to either cool you down when you are too heated or warm you up when your body's inner organs are too cold. If you feel very weak and lazy, then take some herbs to make you strong and exciting. If you have too much strength in your body that make you exciting, then take some herbs to calm you down. What that means is to keep your body in balance, and the balance is the source of strength of your self-healing system, to keep your inner body in nature. Therefore, herbal medical also fits into this philosophy well, and it is distinguished from the Western chemical drugs in theory, which are used to kill the virus and bacteria directly. And that's perhaps why the Westerners do not recognize the Chinese traditional herbal medicine as drug. They only recognize the chemicals extracted from plants such as artemisinin or ephedrine as drug, but not the plant Artemisia or ephedra itself. Well, different basic theory directed to different ways. Chemical drug has chemical drugs benefit and herbal medicine has herbal medicines benefit. So do not belittle each other and do try to understand the others. The Chinese medicine theory in the original expectation was to let people have the knowledge of improving their own health by improving the human immunity and self-recovery capabilities. If you can keep yourself always in natural balance, then there is no need for herbal medicine in theory. However, in theory it is true, but for practical they cannot make everyone in China to be a doctor of his own. Therefore lately the herbal drug had become a mainstream for the medical practice to deal with massive diseases of masses people. The self-healing stream was developed into another path which is now called the health arts, or traditional Chinese medicine health arts, which has now become a very important part of Chinese culture. It has been developed broadly and adopted by the practitioners of Taoists, Buddhists, martial arts, healthcare systems and so on. These people were all based on the same philosophy. Without confusing, when people are talking about some Chinese Buddhist meditation or Taoist breath exercise, they are really talking about the health arts practice instead of religion. The breathing meditation was developed in China in about 2000 BC and became very popular in about 500 BCE. It is not a religious activity, instead it is the religion practitioners in over 1000 years later adopted this health exercises to strengthen themselves. Chinese religions are very often teaching people this type of meditation and educating people with health arts philosophy to make the way for their existence, so that eventually they have made themselves become not so religions but arts and culture. So the original mainstream of Chinese medicine has become health arts culture and somehow put religion label for spreading, while the herbal apothecary was labeled Chinese medicine to sell. In this book, I am not going to touch the herbal medical side. I only cover the Chinese medicine health arts side. When I say Chinese medicine in this book, I do only mean the stream of health arts. When I mention Taoist and Buddhist, I don't mean the religion, only talk about the Taoist health arts and Buddhist health arts. As well, when we are talking about martial arts, we are talking about the heath side of the arts, not the killing or fighting skills. This must be noticed. There are two parts in this book. Part 1 is the theories and the interpretation of the ancient philosophy into more modern terms. Part 2 is the different type of exercise practices selected from Taoist mind-body exercises, Buddhist Zen mental practice and Buddhist Zanmi yoga, Tibet Tantric yoga, without religion ideas. I will use some types of ancient Chinese medicine Jingmai, channel, exercises such as Yujinjing, 6-word breath exercise and 5 animal plays. I will also write how to do martial arts for self-healing purposes and focus on its inner power exercises, instead of fighting skills. I will extract the exercises out of them and accordingly categorize them as physical body and internal body exercises, meditation spirit exercises, breathing and qi exercises, martial art mind and body duality exercise, and so on. My focus is really on philosophy and methodology. If some readers are not interested in those exercises but interested in the Chinese medicine itself, reading this book would help. You do not see many books or articles spent this much detailed explanation of the original ancient theory in today's language as this one. If you are desired to do the exercises that you have heard a lot of them, or if you are a yoga or Taoist practitioner already, I advise you to read the theory and philosophy more carefully to understand the why and the how. I have used most of the listed exercises as examples in the theory part to explain how the theory fit the practice and apply the principle to the exercises. It is very important to the practitioners to understand the principle of these exercises. If not, they are merely physical exercises like sports anyway. Please be noted that, here I am going to use the Chinese terminologies and explain them in detail but not using the English translation words, such as Jing Qishan, Jing Mai, Dantian, Zen, Mi etc. Readers should get used to these words. There are no English words to fit them one-on-one. Part 1, Health Theories of Chinese Medicine, Taoism and Buddhism. Chapter 1, The Basics. 1. Yin-Yang and Nature of Tao. The Chinese medicine theory is mostly developed from the ancient Chinese philosophy. It is the philosophy of Yin-Yang and I Ching, I Ching, and the philosophy of Sky-Earth Human in harmony of Taoism, namely Nature of Tao. This is the philosophy we are going to talk about in this book all the time. There is only one Chinese ancient philosophy, not many philosophies. Taoism philosophy, Confucian philosophy, Yin-Yang and Taiji philosophy and the so-called gold, wood, water, fire, soil 5 elements philosophy etc. are all based on one principal philosophy, which is the I Ching's principle. The difference of those philosophers is the focus area. For example, Confucius philosophy focused on the human-society relations, Laozi Taoism focused on human life, and yin-yang and five elements philosophy focused on the universe regulation. However, they are all evolved from one basic philosophy of I Ching. Therefore, the traditional Chinese medicine philosophy is also called yin-yang human nature philosophy or just Chinese medicine philosophy. Applied into the human health, it becomes that the human body or inner body should always keep in balance or to be kept in balance. This is the meaning of yin-yang philosophy. The human being should always follow the changes of the sky and the earth, e.g. the nature of Tao. That is to follow the day and night by working in the daytime and rest in the night. That also is to follow the seasons by wearing more cloths in the cold winter and finding the cool place under the tree in the hot summer, and so on. As a beginner to this philosophy, it can be as simple as that. Do not take yin-yang and Tao as some occultism, mysticism, or so. The word Dao or Tao means the way. And this Tao philosophy is specified as the way of nature, not the highway or railway for running cars or trains. Taoism, to be translated into plain English, should be the metaphysics philosophy of the way of human and nature. In this way means the development path, the relations, the regulations and laws of human and universe. The earliest yin and yang is actually talking about the moon and the sun. Yi Jing or I Ching was written several thousand years ago. This Chinese character means changing. Its upper part is the character of sun and the lower part is moon. Sun and moon keep changing to make day and night, yang and yin changes. And this is the Tao of universe. Yi and Tao are the same philosophy. Even today in the Chinese language, the moon is still called Taiyin and the sun is called Taiyang, in which Tai means extreme. Moon has the cool light and sun has the hot light. The sun's hot light is called yang light, therefore, in the mountainsides, the side that has the sunlight is called yang side and the side without is called the yin side. The English word dark side is translated into Chinese as the yin side, meaning this side has never had sunshine. Therefore, with multiple meanings to it, the yin can be cool or dark and the yang can be hot or bright. So then, it is easy now to look into the human body about the yin and yang. The skin is in the yang side and the stomach, heart, liver etc. are in the yin side, head on the top is yang, feet in the bottom are yin, for example. When you eat something not comfortable, you feel your stomach so cold, then you should eat ginger to warm it up. It is said to keep your stomach yin-yang in balance, therefore to fix your pain. Something like that, and you can go on and on. Even when someone get a cancer, you can say he might be too stressful, too much depression that makes his mind or consciousness too dark, too yin, and therefore, the not-so-healthy depression personality caused the cancer cells to grow. Therefore, people should always keep their mind in yin-yang balance, be happy, don't worry, and be bright in your mind instead of depression kind of in the darkness to avoid cancer. Am I right? This type of cancer and depression-related theory is now proven to be true. However, some Chinese intellectuals have said that long time ago, according to the yin-yang philosophy, before the Westerns recognized that. The above is only some random examples for the purpose of argument regards yin-yang. I am not going to expressively relating all the diseases to the theory in this book. And also I need to point out that, by using philosophy to direct real practice can be dangerous in several ways. One is, there is no such thing as absolute truth of the universe philosophically, meaning, the philosophy is not always true to everything. The second is, sometimes the philosophy by itself is good, but people might use it wrongly when they apply it to something they are not so sure. For example, when they say the skin is yang and the liver inside is yin, it is alright in theory, but you cannot therefore recommend your patient to open his chest to let his liver to get some sunshine in order to cure his liver illness. That is the so-called wrong application of a right philosophy. To be not so extreme, a lot of time if you feel your stomach cold, you drink hot water and that will make it worse, since this cold feeling is not because you have eaten too much ice cream, it is because you have eaten some allergic food. For example, some people are very allergic to seafood, so that hot water doesn't help. It doesn't mean the yin-yang theory is wrong. It is just because you apply it wrong. This cold feeling is not by temperature, to apply it right. You should eat some warm food such as ginger, using the warm feeling of ginger to overcome the cool feeling of seafood allergy in your stomach. That is the right way to apply yin-yang. The martial art Taijiquan, for example, was named based on the yin-yang theory. Taiji means yin-yang. It is said that when you are fighting with martial arts, you should follow the yin-yang theory to fight with smart strategy. You do not always attach with very young excitement. You should know how and when to retrieve to trick your enemy. This is called yin strategy. Attach with explosive power is young, and endless attach is young and young forever. That will make you exhausted. This is not healthy if you take Taijiquan to do exercise instead of fighting. You should use your internal power or inner force to do slow movement. Inner force is coming from your inner body organs and channels. It is yin force to compare to the external muscle explosive yang force. Therefore, Taijiquan is yin-yang combination health exercise. The Taoist philosophy of sky-earth human in harmony is also very important and very basic in the health theory. People cannot against the nature or the law of nature. People should follow the nature's rule and follow the changes of the nature. In here, the sky-earth in today's language is nature. Therefore the Taoism is follow the nature in plain English. Follow the nature, you shall be healthy, and vice versa. The simplest example is that people who always sleep in the daytime and work in the night shift are not healthy. If you insist to wear a pair of shorts in the winter with -20 degree and you are not a Superman, you must be sick shortly or you must be crazy already. More importantly, this follow the nature philosophy is often applied to the psychology side than the physical side. The above physical side of example is just for the sake of explanation. If one is not a fool, he will not really wear shorts in the winter. But in the psychology side, it is more complex, for example the anxiety. Naturally, you should not be so anxious to get rich or famous or powerful overnight even if you feel you are very capable. You should go step by step and always do the things within your capacity and suit your capability. Force yourself to go beyond your limit is not nature. If you are against this type of natural mind and behavior, you become anxious every day, and, for a period of time, an anxious mind you would become the sickness of anxiety or depression. This is of course described in today's psychology book, but believe it or not, it was said 2500 years ago by the founder of Taoism philosophy Lao Tzu in his book of Tao Te Ching. Do everything but never do it in extreme. Always retrieve yourself when you reach your goal and don't push for more. Therefore, to understand the basics and learn how to apply it into the real world is the starting point of learning Chinese medicine. That's why you always heard the Chinese doctor talking about yin-yang and the nature. 2. The human life and body. The joke is, the Chinese body is different from the Westerns, because their heart is resided in the middle instead of in the left. This is not a joke, this is true. In the Chinese medicine books it is always like that. Why? Have you memorized this in your heart? Are you a nice man with a good heart? Did I touch your heart by saying this to you? Yes, this is a heart in the central of your soul, not the piece of muscle that jumping in your left chest. If you have a Chinese English dictionary, you can see a list of English words attached to it: heart, middle, center, mind, mental, psychology. If you read the Chinese medical book throughout, you should know this heart is not that heart. The here is really about psychology and the translation shall be mind. Psychology is translated as mind theory. You cannot translate this Chinese word back to English as heart theory. This is simple and it is so clear that I do not know why people would be so confused. Your mind is in the center of your consciousness. Mind or brain? The system is mind system and the functional organ is brain. Where is your mind located? If the man is alive, his mind is locating in either his brain or his heart or even his toes that we cannot prove today. But if he is dead, even though his organic brain and heart still exist, his mind is gone and you cannot allocate his mind anywhere during the autopsy research. The major difference between Chinese and Western medicine in terms of human body is that the Chinese refer to the living person and the Westerner pointing to a dead body. The Western medicine education about the human organs are from the anatomy of dead human bodies, in which the teacher would point to the things inside a open chest dead body to teach his students about what and where is the heart, liver, and so on very precisely and very scientifically. However, the Chinese medicine book does not show the pictures of each organ. It gives a bigger picture about the whole and integrated life form of a human system. There are 5 functional systems: 1. The mental system, 2. The breathing, respiratory system, 3. The blood system, 4. The digestive system, and 5. The reproductive system. They are working systems and all related in balance when a human is alive. This is written in the Health Bible of Huangdi Emperor 2,500 years ago, and it is so right according to today's science. But unfortunately, the translation is wrong. You often read as 1, the function of heart, 2, the function of lung, 3, the function of liver, 4, the function of stomach, 5, the function of kidney. One organ does not have the function of a whole system. One system usually includes several organ functions. More importantly, human system as a system is because he is alive. A dead person can still have material organs but do not have any system. The knowledge of human body living systems is not gained by anatomy, of course. It is by observing from all the living persons in all angles, therefore it has a better understanding of the human life and health. It is not to say that the Chinese did not know anatomy. In the cold weapon age, the martial art killing skill knew very precisely where are the deadly organs such as heart, liver, lung, brain and all of that. There the ancient Chinese doctors certainly know all the organs' position without any doubt. However, it is better to know the whole living systems for drug curing than just knowing the position of such organ, unless he wants to do surgery. To use drug, the doctor had better know the human body as a system and organs are related with each other. It is very important to understand this Chinese medicine philosophy that the body we are talking about is always alive. The theory is about a living person. A life form is a whole and integrated system with many combinations and related movement every second. And never should you assume an organ is isolate and still. Do never diagnose a problem as one sole organ's disease. This is the Book of Life all about. If you understand this, you can go on to study Chinese medicine without any confusing. 3. Health arts versus health skill. Health arts, shu in Chinese, has two meanings, skill and art. Sewing or shoemaking shu is skill, medical shu is skill, but singing or painting shu is art. Martial art is wushu, translation, in the cold weapon age is it martial fighting skill. Since Qing dynasty hot weapons became the war tool, people take some martial fighting skill sets to be physical exercise with some Chinese medicine philosophy so that it became art. The reason we did not call it health skill or medical skill is because health arts are not just some knowledge and skills of medical and healthcare. Health arts is a very big subject in Chinese culture. It plays a big role in Chinese society for many years. It has several categories: lifestyle art, eating heal art, herbal medicine health art, philosophy heal art, religious health art, psychology health art, reading and writing health art, sports health art, martial health art, etc. Everything relates to health and they are all considered to be arts. Lifestyle is considered to be on the top list of an art. We always say to keep healthy people healthy in China, and it is true that some people say the traditional Chinese medicine is health arts. This art is good for healthy people. If you are sick, you'd better go to the general hospital to have yourself checked up, and if you need to take antibiotics or have a surgery, that do not reject it. But it is always a good philosophy that to keep a good lifestyle all the time. Illness is not unavoidable. In a lot of circumstances one can prevent to be sick. For instance, if you keep yourself warm in the cold weather and pay a good attention to the outside temperature and your own cool warm feeling all the time, you can prevent to catch a cold and therefore avoid cough and pneumonia or a lot of diseases originated from cold. If you always eat and drink clean and in good diet combination, not too full and not hungry, yan can keep you digestive system health. If you can keep yourself mentally happy and always keep out of the reaction of angry, anxious, fear, worry, then you can avoid psychological illness and a lot of more physiological diseases caused by mental problems. Today people do believe one of the major causes of cancer is depression. This is just a lifestyle, not complicated and not difficult at all. Lifestyle, food, nutrition, and medicine healing are no questions. Psychology is necessary. Sports are defined as health essentials. If reading and writing are a part of your work and make you stress, then it is not. But if you read something interesting and this reading is not related to your job, then it is to relieve your pressure. For example, the Chinese officials in the emperor's time were all used to reading history book in their spare time and writing poems when they gathered for some friendship events. Even some famous emperors liked this type of relief. Reading history or fictions but do not relate your own situation into it, makes you as an audience sitting in a theater watching someone else in the play. This is enjoyable, and at the same time in your subconscious you actually learn something from the history, and it might help you when you suddenly find yourself face a similar challenge that has happened in the history. Philosophy is the title of this book. It is based on philosophy that I am writing this health art book, so just read on and you will know. I am the believer of philosophy health art. I also believe religions in China such as Taoism and Buddhism are all philosophy. The both of their mind and body exercises are philosophy-oriented health arts exercises. So this is the category I am writing within. For Taoism, philosophy is neither religion nor science. Taoism in ancient China is philosophy. It is different from the Greek philosophy except they are the same age-old. You can call it idealism or spiritualism and metaphysics, not materialism and not science. You name it with your Western knowledge, but it does not really fit into these names because the ancient Chinese philosophy is different from Greek one. It is just lousy Taoism, not Plato whatsoeverism. We don't even call it philosophy before. I don't know who and why at first make it into the philosophy academic category. So fine, philosophy it is, but traditional Chinese philosophy to be distinguished. The traditional Chinese medicine theory is developed from this Taoist philosophy and in fact written by Taoists. They shall be in the same academic category. Taoist is definitely not religion and not the specialized spirituality with gods or ghost spirit. Do not be confused by the existence of Chinese Tao religion. It was found many years after the Taoism philosophy founder Lao Tzu's time, and he had nothing to do with such religion. They used the same name as Tao and Taoism to name the religion to confuse people, so I just want to specify it as Tao religion to be not confused. This Tao religion had inherited Lao Tzu's philosophy and the traditional Chinese medicine theory and made them as a part of the religion doctrine. But fortunately they did not say you have to believe this religion in order to have your spirit and body saved. They have founded the Chinese Tao health arts based on all of these theories and practices. For over 1,000 years, they have been teaching this to attract support. Side by side with Tao religion there is Buddhist religion imported from India. They also found out that by pushing people to believe their gods does not gain much support in China. Chinese in their own tradition did not buy in this God or Buddha save your soul preaching. Therefore, some native Chinese monks smartly modified this religion to be psychology theory and practice. They told people to drop their worry, to love people and animals and all living creatures, therefore you can empty your heart to gain mental health, to save your own soul. This fiction became the main Buddhist stream and it is called the Chinese Zen. Therefore, don't be afraid of the Chinese religions, they do not want your soul. The difference of the traditional Chinese philosophy from the Western and Middle East religions is that the spirit or the soul belongs to each individual human, instead of belonging to the Lord or to gods or devils. Also, the soul and the body are the two sides of one life, duality. They always live together and die together. However, the religion says the soul can live beyond the biobody, immortality. The soul and spirit here is the nature, the human nature. It more or less means the key or core or source or center of life or deep feeling or emotion or a human embodiment, or you can use some similar terminology of metaphysics. They are immaterial existence for certain, but not gods or ghost type of thing for sure. I would like to accept it in this way. Taoism recognizes spirit and material duality, and it is a spirit directing philosophy, so does the traditional Chinese medicine. The Chinese medicine theory is based on spirit and biobody duality. It recognizes that mental and physical both are equally important to your health. Traditional Chinese medicine has both psychology and physiology since its beginning. In most of literature in the history, spirit health is always made more important than the biobody health. In their view, bad spirit can cause many diseases, an emotional problem will damage inner organs such as heart, liver, etc. Soulhun is a common terminology in Chinese medicine. Jing Qi Shenhun appears all over the books. When Buddhist came into China they picked this Hun to translate the reincarnation soul, and after that when Christian came into China they picked this Hun as the related word to translate soul. Soul can be reincarnated in Indian religion and can go to heaven in Christian, but Hun cannot. This is an unfortunate translation to the very important medicine word Hun. But let's call his soul. The Chinese medicine theory soul and our soul have its own definition. It does not go to anywhere and it dies with the human body and mind altogether. Soul has similar meanings as Shin, spirit or the spirit of mind, will, volition, belief, determination, etc. It is actually a psychology concept somewhat like a subconscious. And in Chinese medicine, soul plays a very important role as a power source of people's mind to fight to the diseases. Soul in the subconscious directs a determination in your mind to overcome the pain and the illness. Soul in the subconscious makes a deep belief in your mind that you can be recovered and alive. If your body is sick and you even lost your soul, then you are hopeless, meaning even you by yourself do not believe you can be recovered from this disease, so no doctors can save you. Remember the role of soul in traditional Chinese medicine. In English, soul and spirit sometimes has the similar meaning as the above, not always religious. In the other hand, since the religions in China for so many years and had affected the Chinese culture, soul in China had been given other meanings such as heaven and hell. Therefore, this explanation is necessary. In this book I am using soul and spirit only in the Chinese medicine original meaning. Remember that I do not mean any religion or inhuman concepts. I would refer Taoism as the metaphysics philosophy, for Taoism is all about the true nature of the universe and the internal relation of nature and human. Taoism is not physics and it is beyond physics and science. We should just put this in mind when we are studying the traditional Chinese medicine. Because in my book I will have to use the Chinese medicine terminology like spirit, spiritual, soul, supernatural to keep the original taste, so I have explained these terminologies in the above without confusing. These are just the metaphysics terminology, so do not take them as religion, fantasy, or compare to science physics terminologies. I am not using this philosophical opinion to argue or compare with other philosophies such as Marxism or materialism or Cartesian. I am only using Taoism philosophy to explain Chinese medicine, and that is all. Taoism is the Chinese Taoism and Chinese medicine is the Chinese medicine. They can explain themselves and by themselves very well. Usually in China's academic side, we always use Taoism to explain Taoism perfectly. But since I am writing this book in English, these questions are always asked by the English world readers unavoidably. This is not to explain to these questions about what is what to relate to the Western philosophy. I just say these words here to mean that I know all of these Western philosophy and its issues. I know and I am not against, and I do not want to make the judgment of who is better. In the history, there are always people trying to do Chinese Western philosophy and medicine or psychology comparison, and it is always end up miserably. It has failed a lot of learned people in the history. So I am not going to do so in this book. Chapter